So you wanted to see a little bit of how the expressions and text modules work in R21 and onwards. So first of all, we have now a text module, and the text module does exactly what it says on the tin. It renders text to the screen. So you can pick a font. It will render whatever text you tell it to the screen through the mappings, just like any other module in Disguise. So this is an incredibly really powerful thing already, that we can just say hello world and it will write hello world onto the screen, and we can play around with alignment in our 21.4 and onwards as well, which is nice. What we can do is we can link that text field out to expressions, and that means that we can use things within the Disguise system to actually define what the text is. And this is where this gets really interesting. So say, for example, I've created a timecode receiver. I'm just going to use my system time because I'm on my laptop. That generates time, and you can see the time and the clock ticking up here. I can draw an arrow from the time over to the text field, and it will now render the time as text into the screen. Now that's using an expression, and you can see here the interesting bit of this expression is the :s at the end, and that's a special indicator that says treat this variable as a string. And obviously we need it to be a string so that we can render it as text. But that logic applies to other things. So if we enclose it in curly braces, we can write uptime. We don't get anything, but if we do uptime with an S, we get the time that the system's been booted for in seconds as a string. So we can show that up on the screen. And we can do this with other stuff. So for example, if I want the project file name, I can drop that down to the text and I can see the D3 state project name. And again, with that S telling it to write it as a string. The neat thing about this expression field is that it's not just single parameters. I can also enter values myself in there. So I could say the project file we're running is, and there's a little bug where the apostrophe breaks the parsing at the moment, so I'll just miss that for now. And then D3 state project blah 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 dot D3. So I can write it like that. And now I see my text writing out what the project file name is. I can tweak my font size so it still fits on one line if I want to. By the way, you've also got position control here, so you can move things up and down and left and right. And you know, I can also use a combination of expressions if I want. So I could say, and the system has been running for uptime. And now Disguise has turned that into a string and turned it into text and rendered it to the screen. So yeah, string expressions are really, really cool. You can do a lot of things with them. I think that we're going to find users doing all sorts of interesting creative stuff. One neat use case I found for it is that you can have the notes inside the Disguise system. So you can say, for example, my note, and I could go in and say, hello world, I'm here. Again, let's not put an apostrophe in it because of that bug. And I can draw an arrow from that, and that will link up to the note, and now it's saying hello world, I'm here. And if I go in and update this, say I'm still here. So now my note window becomes my text window to the screen. And that means that I could do things like log all of the notes through a rehearsal and then display them on the screen at the end of the rehearsal so that everyone can see the notes. Pretty cool. I think there's some really interesting use cases and applications here. And one final thing, because we're passing text, we also pass Unicode, so we support all the international characters, including emojis. Have fun. Hope you enjoy it.